open our select board meeting for October 13th. And we are going to start with public communications and comments. Yes.
Hi, I'm asking a question. I'm asking you as ethics liaison,
Okay.
ethics, not as select board.
Okay.
And also I'm asking because I do the website. The cemetery commission is not under the purview of select board, correct?
They are not. They're elected and they are not advisory.
Okay,
So
so guess my question is then as ethics liaison to bring it to your attention, or did you ever see a link for the audio of the last meeting?
they have not.
Because I'd like to put it on the website, but then also outside of my role as a website person, I am an abutter to the Elmwood property abutter. And there was something in the minutes about discussion ensued after talking about what to do with the back lot.
Okay.
The lot that doesn't have any burials in it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm in a butter and I can't get a hold of that information.
And you want to know what the conversation is?
Since they don't hold their meetings remotely, but they do. I think that Will reported them for this last one.
Yeah.
But the last answer from him was, I guess he was busy or whatever. So.
I will reach out again and request that. And if I don't receive it, I will let them know that anything at that last meeting needs to be redone. We have to have a do-over.
Yeah.
So anything that was agreed upon or voted on or anything else, it's not going to stand because it doesn't. Anything in the minutes has to be addressed.
You know,
And open for open comment.
Exactly, because it is part of open meeting law now, recordings.
Yep.
And so I don't believe they had a motion for anything with the back lot, but I'm curious what that discussion was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an open meeting.
Yeah, so, and I couldn't make it at the time they had it, so, and there was no remote option.
I will request again from Will for him to send that.
I believe the meeting's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me tomorrow morning. It might have remotely, but.
Yeah, well, they should be recording tomorrow, but I need to get that recording. They were informed that they had 5 days
Yeah.
to upload the audio, to send to you to upload the audio, and that's.
And I know the time before they didn't have audio because I think the power went out here. But there was a generator here.
Yeah.
And I know our little Fairpoint box near us, even during a days long power outage, will stay on. They have a generator on the box itself. So, yeah, or it's battery. They have a battery. So I don't know, why they're not following through with recordings.
But I'll ask again. They had a meeting a while ago and I had set up a WebEx and I joined from work to record it. And then I think the next one I joined from work to record and nobody joined it. And then the third one I joined and nobody moved on. So they weren't using it when we set it up. So I'm not sure why they decided to do that, but I know at some point in time Will said he wanted to do a voice recording so that meets the statute, that meets the requirements, but he has to have it uploaded and open to the public within 5 days of the meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Kelly.
Yes, thank you very much. I just made a note, so I'll remember to follow up on this. Any other public comments or communication? Okay. Let's see. Let's can I hear a motion to amend or approve the agenda?
Remove the 6, letter G.
Okay.
Cemetery Commission Work Party. They are going to reschedule that sometime in the spring.
That is struck in the agenda. Motion to approve the minutes.
Yep, I'll second it.
No? So moved. Approved. All right, let's jump in here. Financials. I know Nancy was planning on coming, so let's take a look here. Are there payment orders? They're there.
Yeah, we're in the signature folder.
A big old giant folder right here.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, after we're done with financials, it looks like I skipped, the town planning grant. I'm sorry for that. We'll jump back to that.
That's okay.
Oh, I can see that. You were there. That.
I'm just look, due to the school district.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like reason.
What is this additional
Oh,
commission invoice?
that's the invoice that Two Rivers sent us back in August
Okay,
that got lost in the mix of all the grants and construction contracts. And Nancy hadn't put it on that order, so I put it in.
does it need to be added to the
Yeah,
order?
if you could do that.
Then go. Yeah, so. Click them around. Hopefully tomorrow. Well, it's kind of over. Thank you. But. I get you back.
We're expecting.
Yeah, no. We're getting covered. That hadn't been several years. You know, yeah,
Is your audio on?
Yeah, you want me
There you go.
Who is that?
Right.
Being streamed live on
Yeah.
the website.
It's not live on the website, but it's, we sent the link out, so anybody can join if they want to from home. Yeah, so if you ever want to join from home,
Yeah.
just do anything on a Monday. You can do it. Yeah, we set it up so that way if any of us can't make it, then we can join on there or, vice versa, like if anybody can come in or anybody's sick and
But it's a main.
in Maine,
Right.
want to call in. From Maine.
Picture next time you're down there, you're on.
Yeah.
What's that picture?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not just always.
Sun setting or, rolling.
Yeah.
Right, I'll sign, make a motion to approve the payment order. All in favor?
Yep.
Okay. Sarah. Hello.
Last meeting, we talked about the town applying for the municipal land grant. And strategy to update the town plan, which is coming to the end of its cycle, so it's something we have to do. Anyway, and this is funding from the state to pay. I sent out draft application language and then a budget as well. Does everybody have copies of that? I printed the extras if you don't. Okay. Got it? You don't have it?
Yeah, right.
You got it. All right. All right, so I was hoping, just to walk through so that I flagged a few questions
Yes.
for, to talk about, so I can like walk through the entire application. Just sort of your comments will be the best way to approach this.
I think just if you want to get started on it, we'll take us through.
Yeah, just walk through. Good. So this, template is not actually going to be the final form of this. I have to go into gears and like actually copy and paste everything. This is sort of like a draft page. So this is a template to help us go through each of the questions. So page one here, you see this is a single municipality application. And it is a rural town. I've also noted here that the regional planning commission, that's Two Rivers, would serve as agent for the rural town project. And that means is we would help with the application. And then as we had noted on the resolution form from the last week, there was to actually do the work if the grant is awarded. So that's why I've marked that there. Next page here, section 2, talking about project itself. So this is a municipal plan. With the snappy title, which is funny when you're just doing a town plan update. And I said planning to Granville's 5-year future. Project subtitle is sort of a brief thumbnail sketch of what it's supposed to be. Revising the town plan to bring the document to compliance with statutory requirements and explore ways to ensure a thriving future for a very small rural town. And also for context, I think we talked about this last time. The state really wants you to show in your application that you're doing more than just doing data updates and making sure you're in line with statute. You have to put a spin on it to be like, well, this is a special sort of premise, and we're doing some planning beyond just, bringing the meat and potatoes up to stuff. So that's why we had that conversation with the planning commission about this, and we had a conversation at the last board meeting was what are the special angles that we can take in this application in hopes of making it more competitive, because unfortunately it is a very competitive grant program. So section question 2.4 here, which is what project description you're supposed to describe the issue, approach to solving the problem, long-term consequences. And basically, this is the summary of all the other questions that come after this. But what I've chosen to focus on here is that there is this desire to have more housing and jobs locally. How to do that is something that still needs to be figured out. So that's part of what this plan actually could be about, is trying to figure out how we do get more local jobs and housing in the area. And we also, every time you update your town plan, you have to make sure that you address all the items from the previous town plan. The regional planning commission said, hey, this could use improvement next time. And one of the things in the previous town plan that needed improvement was prioritization of capital expenses. So the town doesn't have a capital budget plan, right?
Not specific, no.
Right, that's totally fine. I'm just curious. I want to make sure, because if you did, I want to make sure I'm aware of that. But
Yeah.
Basically,
We don't have
like a special
No.
plan just for capital budgeting. Yeah, so the town plan identifies some upcoming capital expenditures, and the state wants you to like not just sort of estimate the rough costs, but also say, okay, well, first we want to tackle this, and we want to tackle this, and sort of do a sort of order of operations of that in your town plan. So I've noted that here is one of the things that we worked on just
We don't operate that way.
That's not outline needs major capital expenditures.
right, to sort of plan out the sequencing.
Gotta get budgeting in line with the state. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, like, if we don't already have that in place, and it's not something that we do, I'm just wondering if we're gonna meet that, because I don't know how often, I mean, unless there's a major thing that we need to cover, we don't.
We have capital funding for this project.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a project going on now.
Yes.
And I think that one's then doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be bigger, splashier plans. It's pretty simple. And it can include things maybe for the fire department and sort of more ancillary wings of the town as well. So. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't have to be too involved. And I mentioned that here, bringing up to compliance with state statute and helping specifically here those like focus points that are gonna, the special angles that we're taking on this application: housing, land use, economic development, and community facility and asset management. That's like budget and planning. And then, as we discussed last time, public outreach is 2 public forums. Obviously, planning commission is going to be meeting regularly and inviting interested community members and stakeholders to be part of those conversations. And then also doing enhanced energy planning, as we had talked about. And then the final, outcome of all this is at the end of the process, we have a draft that is ready to go to select board for review and approval, if you wish to. Okay. So that's the sort of arc of the process here. If you skip along to section 3 here, basic questions about, okay, do you already have a town plan? Is it confirmed, etc.? So you're all set there. Section 4.1 is asking us, okay, well, what are the real challenges that the community is facing that are going to be addressed through this planning process? So what I've written here is really what we talked about at the last meeting, as well as the planning commission. So, it would be beneficial to have an expanded tax base and volunteer base, to run the population a little bit with that obviously reason. But growth is challenging, and obviously there's the regional housing shortage, and employers are just for employees too, so struggling to recruit workers. And so this process will be thinking about how to tackle all of that, given the development constraints that exist. And then also there's going to be some dialogue, because the regional planning commission is required by the state through Act 21 to help revise future land use areas at the regional level, and then talk with towns about how they want to do it at the local level. That'll be part of this process too. We'll all be through the same conversation. And yeah, so that's really the main focus there. And I try to emphasize that, this is a small town and it needs support with actually doing this process. 4.2 funding need, again, just explaining that the town has a very limited budget, and so actually applying for this grant really is the only option that can help with this kind of work. Section 4.3 here. It's asking, how are you gonna address the issues, the challenges that were faced earlier, and basically just reiterating that we're gonna be, I think, for statutory compliance with those special focuses on those topics as we discussed. Having Act 181, 50 conversation, and addressing the issues that were called out in the previous town plan review, and also doing enhanced energy planning. So it's pretty interesting. Next section here is section 4.4. This is what I need your help on. So it's asking whether there's been any sort of planning activities, but also just other sort of community organizing work that's helping them and provide a foundation for conversations that are going to happen for this time. And so I'm wondering whether maybe the work that's been done by the Ridgeline Collective could be mentioned here. I know we talked about having outdoor recreation as part of one development.
I think they should be, because, you know, Forest Service has just given them the access, but I'm sure there's gonna be, need to be continued support. Because who knows where there might be some pushback.
So can you just help me understand, because I'm not plugged into that group. Generally, like bird's eye view, what's going on right now?
So the original focus was to kind of liken this, like what happens in Europe. You can hike or ski from hut to hut. And that was the that was kind of this insight of it all. And so I haven't seen any hard map yet. I just see what the Forest Service has announced. They have permission. Now it is gonna go, it's not gonna go here. Found out just last weekend. We lost that here. So that doesn't help in general. So it's going to Rochester. It starts over like Mendon Mountain. It used to be an old cross-country center. Then it goes into Pittsfield, into Rochester. And then from Rochester, it's gonna go up onto Bethel Mountain and then head north on the, we call it the Breakthrough Mountain Ridge. It is, my understanding is then gonna go further east over to Braintree. They have a meeting house over there, and then the I think it's late summers, they do bicycle events on that meeting house. And they do rides and races. And the Randolph section is Jeff Freeman is spearheading the whole Randolph section and building. And then from there, it's going to continue north. But I haven't seen a hard map as of yet.
Is any of it going through East Granville? Or is it going to be completely?
It's up on the ridge. It's on the east side.
Mhm.
It's not staying on Braintree, it's my understanding. It's going over to the east side of 12.
Okay.
Yeah, because they've been doing bike events over there. Most of it's happening on bike events through the meeting house. What happens on gravel roads. So Zach Freeman has been active over there building trails. They have handicap trails over there. But I think it's really limited just in Randolph. There's been nothing north from there.
They have a lot of trails over in Braintree and
Right.
over in that area.
Right.
And Class 4 road and.
Yeah.
You can go on that, a lot of back road.
Yeah, they put it together.
Well, no, they're not just one. Pull up and turn around. Yeah.
Right.
Turn from that down.
Yeah, it stemmed from backcountry skiing. There's a lot of guys backcountry skiing. And then the bicycling thing really has been coming out of dunes. Just to give you an overview. The bicycling thing kind of came out of dunes, and there was guys building trails on their own property and getting permission on another property in Rochester. And what was really interesting, Sean Linsky and I and a few others were trying to identify trails here. Norm Arsenal was helping with ancient trails because that was the state mandate to identify all of them. So that all kind of came together at the same time. And when that happened, it was really interesting. The director of for Forest Service, woman, she's from the Great Lakes. She happened to show up around that same time, asking Rochester, it's like, so what are you doing for recreation? She really wanted to know how this office was addressing recreation. And it just happened that these committees were coming together at the same time. Angus McCusker was certainly the key one, and Zach, And then there's another guy, that's, but Angus had the map. Anyways, that's how it's, how it's evolved. Those two are key, for communication as to where things are, and they're Angus's person over the state. And driving this. So,
It's not gonna be crossing any sort of grant.
no. But the reason why I say that we should be part of it is we have all these gravel roads up behind us here that are already all done, and the food service was on board. So, I'm sure as time moves on, what's happening in Rochester can expand to Granville. Yeah.
Alright. I will mention that. Anything else I should mention about signs and process, I can say supports this.
I did look at the bridge off my nose. We've got people stopping and they're walking along the highway, guardrail, in front of the guardrail, behind the guardrail. Really an unsafe situation. And the head wall, just as you exit the parking lot to get to the bridge. It was really poorly constructed stone. Someone laid it up with the machine and it's half falling apart. It's fixable. It's definitely fixable. This has been sitting there this, I don't know how many years now. It's been several years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and it's not an easy one, but it's I looked at it, I took pictures of it. So, I mean, for our town, that should get fixed.
That's like a great thing to mention.
Yeah.
Of course, they're saying they're scheduled to replace that next year.
They are, yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
Replace
They got a permit to give me a minute. They could print one.
Well, the head wall just needs to be rebuilt, then the bridge can be jacked up and then just set on level rocks and fixed. The rest of it's all pressure treated, the rest of it's all structurally, the wood looks fine. It's just the head wall.
So that's something I mentioned that Forest Service is working on, improving pedestrian access to that.
yeah,
No, it's not forest.
Yeah, that would be a state.
the state of
That's
Vermont.
They,
Okay.
Yeah.
The DOT.
they project the forest service.
So that's V-Trans.
No, that is ANR forest parks and recreation.
Is that all, who's gonna,
They're the ones that are in charge of engineering the project and getting it constructed.
Thank you, that's very helpful.
we're also looking at potential increased access to the river, right? The sale of the property in the state. Down there.
Well, I don't know, I mean, I asked Cheryl about that, that sale hasn't gone through yet,
You have it, okay.
the,
No.
down by Michigan
Yeah,
property?
yeah.
That sale hasn't gone through yet, but yeah, that would be nice as part of that.
Yeah.
That the town has some access, or there's actually public access.
Public access so
Yeah.
that people can get to the
A couple-
fishing holes.
Couple
and the-
parking spots. I mean, there is parking right there on the corner anyway.
Yeah, it's still no.
It's the only other thing I can think of that would be in process right now.
Looking to increase access.
To
to the
increase
river.
access. Yeah,
So we got
that's all we got right now. Cool. People are still coming. There's a lot of people collecting ramps all spring
Yeah.
in that area down there.
Ramps,
It is a good ramp section. If people just
Yeah.
keep walking, then it is, and they come back very well every. Yeah.
capital leads.
Moving on, so 4.6, project management, so how's the flow of this work going to happen? So I've said that planning commission is gonna be doing bulk of this work, obviously. And they're gonna be doing the decisions, day to day on content revisions and things like that, also inviting interested stakeholders to come to their meetings. And they're gonna keep select board apprised of Chris. And then select board will be able to provide input occasionally or however you'd like to. And then Two Rivers is gonna be on the sort of actual document production side. And also grant management. So, Section 5.1, asking about public outreach. So this is based on our previous conversation that I said is that at the beginning of the project, there would be a public forum to talk about community priorities and concerns and how that can be addressed within the planning process. And housing and economic development would be obviously as part of that conversation. And then at the end of the planning process, there's going to be a second forum in which folks can actually take a look at the draft document and offer their comments and make additional minutes. And we're going to advertise those forums via here on the town website, newspaper notices, and they'll be hybrid, so folks can attend. And then in addition to that, there'll be the regular meetings of planning commission, and if there are folks will be able to attend those, and hopefully planning commission can reach out directly to interested stakeholders groups to ask for their input. We should talk about a little bit more on the next page. So if you look at section 5.2, I've tried to put down as many people as I could think of and name who might be those interested stakeholders who can contribute to conversations about specific chapters. And so I would love you to take a look at this list and let me know if any of this does not sound right. Like if I've named somebody who's really not appropriate, or if I've missed anybody. I wasn't sure if there was still a conservation committee, for example, or if that doesn't exist anymore.
We don't have that,
Okay.
organized.
The rest of that look okay then?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, some of it not directly, but could be, you know.
Right.
Um,
We can at least extend an invitation.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think some would like to see more, you know. Yeah,
You don't know who else is theirs.
no, but like Tri-Valley Transit's a good one, but we don't really see a lot of like transit down this way, but I know we have people who would like to utilize it more in the area.
You would just like go to them, I thought to know what else to.
It goes to the,
Still go to the town hall or
it
whatever.
goes to the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people can't get down there. From here. And so then, you know, recently there was. Word on front porch floor in between a couple people. I know that's what you help.
Your neighbor, give him a ride once in a while.
I do. Right?
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll pick him up.
So,
We also like to see letters of support for applications, and sometimes we turn to like a committee, a town committee, apart from planning commission, obviously, that's more somebody who might be willing to write a letter. It's not required, it does help. So do you think that there is anybody who could write such a letter, or it's not really appropriate?
We could look into that. There's not anybody off the top of my head on this list that would, but, could look into that.
This application is due November 3rd, so if you do think of something, please let me know as soon as possible. We'll get in touch with them. Okay. So then next page here, we've got section 2.1. It asks what are the long-term goals, and this is really like very, very long-term goals, hopes and dreams for the future, right? So I've kept referring like for the local economy, more affordable housing, and then obviously enhanced energy planning, so the town has a stronger voice in section 248 permitting processes.
I think that's good.
Pretty big set. Section 6.3 here, how are we like aligning with state goals? So again, fairly basic, and that we're a strong focus on housing, local economy, making sure that we're aligning with future landing plans from the state and talking with the regional planning commission about that. And then obviously there's the floodplain constraints in town, and the state cares a lot about floodplains as well, so we're talking about climate resilience there. And we'll be addressing prioritization of capital expenses, which was talked about in the last time I heard you. Okay, so I went through the states that we're working on stuff they care about. Section 6.5 designated project areas. Basically saying Granville has 2 designated villages, so that gets you a lot of extra points actually, which is fantastic. Use all the points we can get. Section 7.1. This is something I wanted to confirm. Has the town received any municipal planning grants in the past 5 years?
Not that I know of.
Planning grants.
Municipal planning,
No.
Right.
Okay. That down. And then we come to the budget, so if you turn to the document that I sent out, anything else is not part of the same project, but, yep, you got it. So this is how this is all gonna break down, and if you're doing the work, then we would do tackling all of these tasks. So we, as you can see, this matches the public outreach plan that we talked about earlier, with the 2 work forms, which are listed sort of on the page there. And the task descriptions show that the final one probably here that goes to select board for you all to have a hearing and to adopt as you wish. And the match for this particular grant is 10%. So if you look at the very bottom right-hand corner of the table, the match difference is all shaking out to is $1,488. So my question for the town is whether that feels like an okay amount of match that's available.
Yeah, I would-
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's a good amount.
yeah.
I think it's reasonable.
Anything on here that you have questions about or concerns about?
No, yeah, nicely done. Well put together.
Where to help? Right. So if we take a look at the next section here in your page, which is section 3, accounting. It's like page number, so I guess it does at the page 19 is the question for support and Cheryl. So it's asking what type of accounting system the municipality uses, automated and or the combination.
It's a combination.
Okay. Great. And then we have to confirm, does the organization have an accounting system that will allow you to completely accurately check the receipt and disbursements related to the award? Assuming yes.
Yes.
Great. And that is it. The rest is just sort of gobbledygook. Gets attached to it. Okay, so those were all of my questions. Everything. Any final thoughts? My goal is to get this submitted well before November 3rd.
Anything else, Mike?
I think so. I mean, there's a lot we need, but this
Yeah.
Christmas is coming too. I guess, right?
Let's see. This is one step. Yep.
One step.
There's a lot. And it's a required step to get all the other grants, right? So you keep your town plan updated, that makes you eligible to apply for other state funding. Yeah, that's why we're doing it. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. With the quick note on the CDBG thing, I'm gonna try to send in a requisition pretty soon here with the resolutions that you just approved. So I'll be in touch with you probably about getting that pushed through years.
Okay.
Because you have to press the button here and you always get email from me soon. I really need you all to review the historic architecture consultants documents.
Yes.
And she's asking, it's like, what has people on, et cetera, and we really need to start racking up some match time. So we know what we need our on.
Okay.
Put somewhere else. You'll see an email from me about that. Everything. So much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Drive safely. All right. Next comes review of financial documents. You have any questions on the financial documents? Anyone wants to go over it? Yes,
Have permission to speak out of order.
yes.
It's consumer finances. Related question to have the cornerstone, that they reissued their payment of $1,000. Granted under the health and welfare budget. Voted to that town meeting.
Okay.
Can I say something before you say yay or nay?
Yeah.
Check with Nancy, because I don't know. if there's any-
You don't know what,
Got funds?
according to the quarterly, is still on that.
Just,
Yeah, well, of course you have to check. Yes, you have to write a check.
right.
Thank you.
Was there a designated time for payment?
Any payment?
Like a payment time? Is that
No.
supposed to be issued?
We typically do all those in December, January.
Okay.
Um, But if someone requests
When they need it?
a payment, you know, like urgency, then, yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed all the other health and welfare, not in base, so, but we use money.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, if it's in here to be paid. If the funds are available, then I think it's fine to make the request to have it paid.
Sure.
I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah, it's up to you. I agree.
I don't think we have to make a motion on that if it's in the budget.
Right, you haven't gone on.
Yeah, very good enough. I think that's it. I'm just making notes so I can send a note to Nancy.
And she sent me an email, she's at home, so.
Oh, that's not good. But good that she's home.
Yes.
That she's home. All right. No other questions on the financials? I know there's been a lot of stuff that Nancy's been doing to clean up some of the accounting. There's been years of erroneous entries that have been gathering. And so I think those have been leveled out. Look at your project.
Yeah, cleaned out.
Cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not quite finished yet, but
but they're getting there.
they got a major portion.
I think that's great. Yeah, just being able to have that objective view. Which is also here, on treasurer's training, and I don't know what the point was. Did you put that in there? Did we want to talk about treasurer's training?
That already happened?
It's in progress.
Thanks.
Yep, and Sharon is helping to clean up the account that she's going through and training Nancy and trying to help Nancy see where the issues are. What are your thoughts, Cheryl? Has Nancy shared with you?
It's a lot, because of what they're into now, the cleaning.
Yep,
No, it's a good 3 hours
okay,
that they're spending together. So I'm hoping she has good notes and direction.
Yep.
Once it's over,
are they recording the sessions?
recording them, no.
I don't think so, okay.
No.
I
I know they have a file where they put notes in, but.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe recording would be helpful so that then she can go back and watch.
right,
Somebody else could, maybe I'll make a suggestion if they can do that, if they have the ability to do that with their, I don't know if they're using Teams or.
no, they aren't, they're doing it's a link where Sharon can get into QuickBooks.
And
And
with her-
Nancy sits there and watches her make corrections and Sharon explains.
Okay.
why.
Okay. Let's hope. Delinquent property tax sale. I wanted to hear from Nancy on the update on that, if she's taken action. I know we've seen some emails come across. And we gave her the okay to move forward with the attorney. Has she, do you know if she's,
There's invoice there. She found out from him that yes, he is working to proceed. He just needs to go ahead. It should be on invoices that you pay.
was an invoice for the,
Yeah, in the big group.
okay, if you've got it ready for us to sign off? I
Um,
remember seeing that percent.
but yeah, he's ready to proceed. He just needs her to tell him. to go ahead.
I don't see one here. These are. Oh, 48.75, oh, okay. I didn't realize it was $48.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was his email this morning.
all right. Yeah, we want to move forward with that,
Okay,
just to get the ball rolling. I think we decided that before that. The
Yeah,
amount
but-
was such that we wanted to move forward.
Do you think the list before the attorney gets going? Just to give them a bump?
Good. We should have something from the attorney.
yeah,
I think
he's
that-
the one that made the arrangement.
Yeah, so I think that we should have him send something and
Yes.
turn it over to him at this point.
And give them an opportunity before we incur much legal costs of case.
Yep,
A lot of might just help,
if they painful,
whatever.
painful.
Find out how much it's gonna cost.
It's gonna be about, it was like $2,000 or something like that was the estimate.
Yeah, it's
Less than $2,000.
no, if not more.
I thought it was less than 2,000. I thought so.
She didn't get a firm amount. She
Yeah.
didn't know if he wanted her to get that,
Well, what she,
because that would then incur some more costs.
yeah, but the emails that I saw go across said that was estimated at, it was like 14 something and then an additional something else, which was less than $2,000. And so, and that was like, possibly, it could be less than that,
Yeah,
so. Yes,
Can you add that amount to the prop tax oath?
we can't, so under the new guidelines, my understanding is we can't add that. And there are, we've already done, like, there's new, like, hurdles we have to jump through before we can even move forward, and we've already hit those. So I think we're where we can move forward, but there's limitations on what we can add into the bill. And one of those is the legal fees. Adding legal fees. So,
Maybe after this first one, the town can take it on themselves. I don't know when
if we had a template, you mean? If
We never needed an attorney before, and I understand the law changed.
Yeah.
But maybe after seeing the process,
Yeah,
it's not gonna require a total town attorney to do it.
well, I think that's fair, because if we say these are what we can and can't do, then we kind of have to template it out. And it's for, you know, and if we have somebody else hit that amount, or if we have somebody who's just stringing along and not paying, then we can start the process. I think that's fair.
Right. I'm just not sure whether it requires an attorney.
I think with this one, though, I would want the attorney, just because, to make sure that we're following every part of the update to the law.
It's a pretty large amount of money too, so it's really working, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Approval of meeting minutes. Let's have the meeting minutes. We don't have the meeting minutes. If you want to print it, we'll come back to that later. Okay, new business. All right, discuss and appoint 2 auditors. Woohoo. So we have had 2 people step up and agree to join our auditing team. So that we can get our audit done as soon as possible this year. So with that, I have written confirmation and agreement from Rachel Gregorian and Roger Stouts right here. So good. So I make a motion to appoint Roger Stouts as an official auditor.
There you go.
All in favor?
You're supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Before you leave, please sign your license.
All right. I make a motion to appoint Rachel Gregorian.
Second that motion.
All in favor? All right. So approved. So, Roger, thank you.
You,
I'll send a note to Rachel, thanking her again. And then that way too, Bruce, if there's more to do in the future, we'll have two people that can get together in November as well. And I will try on the weekends to be available as well. So I can help
I
out.
was gonna say, are you gonna still try to get us into an introductory, session?
Yeah, and I think Roger's done it for a long time too, so I think he'll be on board. But yeah, that way I can just kind of get it together and organize with you guys. And I think more than anything, Roger and I can kind of come up with the points that we hit last year.
Yeah.
So those will be the focal points of this next year to make sure there's a few things with fire station. Water company, the app store again, and make sure they did. And for the town, there are a few things that we had requested.
right, will it be organized the same way as last year?
However it works for the auditors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we kind of followed Robin's rules. But,
You don't have to all in the reading right away because it's got a couple of weeks. So it's,
Well, someone was saying the financials aren't quite ready.
we're still not ready yet.
Well, it's-
The towns are now.
they are now.
Oh, town.
Yeah.
So Sharon was able to update and get everything updated so that they are good and closed for the last fiscal year. Do we have the fire department?
One of them.
I believe that's been sitting and waiting.
Is it here?
No, not here, it's up there.
Are they gonna bring it over?
They haven't been instructed.
Okay.
The town, they have to finish doing the, assets, equity and liabilities. So, I don't,
Okay, well, we could start the audit on just the
but the bank statement.
bank statements and everything else. So yeah, I mean, we could get it started. And the tax. Because those kind of take a long time. to get through. And if one person on the team just takes the tax records, because then they can just go through it. Verify. Well, the other two go through bank statements. Okay. WebEx transfer, obviously, if we can jump over that, I've got Carol in WebEx, and going forward, I'll be working with Cheryl to make sure she can access. I'm also gonna try to get something, so there's a shared computer resource here. We tried the Google Chromebook, and the Google Chromebook won't process fast enough, I think. Or doesn't have the right plugins to process the WebEx meetings. So it just doesn't, it keeps kicking it off. So I have a mini processor computer that I can hook into the TV. And I want to see if that works, because I don't use it at all. And it is a Windows computer, so that's a recent version, so it won't work. So I can like that, and we can try using it, just to see if that works. And if that works for the future, maybe we'll try something like that. But right now, it's just trial and error to try to get something other than my laptop.
Right.
Here for the meeting, so that other people can use the WebEx and everything. So.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it would be good, because then everybody can set a WebEx meeting and record their session, and let people dial in the next session. All right,
For century.
LHMP draft, select board comments and resubmittal to the EM. So. I don't have an updated draft of that. I know it's been a while since we looked at it. We were all set before. And has anything changed? Cheryl? From the last just the last. No. Hazard plan, hazard mitigation plan.
No,
So they're just those, so the planning commission is pushing it through again.
yep,
We're gonna get it back on our table.
right,
We're gonna set meetings for people to give feedback again.
right,
Okay. Let's just move it forward. Let's move it.
okay,
Let's
so
move it along.
tell Kyle to move,
We'll tell Kyle to move along.
okay,
We already had approved that before.
right, okay.
Um. Flood regulations draft schedule meeting and hearing. Same. I think we've looked at both of those. It's the flood regulations that we didn't vote on. Alright, are ready to do, but any other feedback on the local hazard mitigation plan or the flood regulations?
We went through that.
All of it.
Yeah, it's all pretty much. Stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Time ago.
Yep, it's just, they just had to bring it back. I think they didn't finish the LHMP, but we have to revisit the flood regulations because we didn't approve it.
Right, so when would you like to schedule the meeting hearing?
At our next meeting,
Okay,
can we,
November meeting?
November meeting, yeah,
Okay,
we don't need it, do we need another hearing?
we
We can,
can do it, we can do a quick hearing before the meeting.
yeah, let's do that. Let's do a quick hearing, and nobody showed the last time, so there was no need to even have a hearing. And then we can approve it at that meeting. If it's ready to go, then let's just do it.
Okay.
Right. Fair housing regulations,
Yeah, just like what Sarah was saying in the town plan, you can't discriminate against anyone wanting to build here in town based on race.
oh yeah,
You know, religion, whatever. Yeah.
do we need to
No, I,
take any action on that?
no,
Okay. Discuss and appoint town representative to the White River Valley Ambulance Board. I nominate Cheryl Sargent to appoint as our White River Valley Ambulance Board representative. Second.
That makes sense, sure. Second. You okay with that, Cheryl?
yep,
All right, all in favor? That is approved.
Shell, what's going on with, Valley Rescue? I see Rochester's pulled out.
yeah, Rochester is trying the new format with Werba. They're collaborating with them. They have 5 members in the fire department that are interested in responding to first aid
The Rochester Fire Department.
in Rochester Fire Department. They've gone on a few. They don't really like them, but that's what they chose to do.
And Granville isn't responding to Rochester.
Granville is not going as of October 15. Granville will not be responding to Rochester.
And what about, Rochester was the biggest payee into that,
Right.
so
Rochester will not be paying Granville first response anymore for
is that retroactive then?
as of October 15.
So what's gonna happen then? Because that made up 80% of the budget.
So what's happening is they're regrouping. The town of Hancock and Granville are gonna continue to work together and we'll see.
The budget comes up in another month for next year. And we'll see what happens then, I guess.
Right, it may decrease, because the calls in Hancock and Granville are a lot less.
It's still just the cost of the service. It's paid mostly by Rochester, which has so much more population.
Right. So, yeah, so they're only gonna be, charging for,
But still gonna have the same equipment,
Right,
same
same
supplies,
equipment.
but they're not gonna be using as much too, so.
right, yeah. They might go to a call charge. I don't know.
If there's, I'm gonna excuse myself from home.
Thank you,
I
Roger.
just need me.
No, it's all good. Thank you, Roger.
What's the next
We're
thing?
talking about the Granville Volunteer Fire Department lease.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah. It's. I thought as a part.
Yes, you should.
With that.
Well, I get it from home.
Are you going to find that?
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah, go ahead. I do have one major question
Yes,
concerning that. We'll start discussion on our last.
yes, there's a couple things that come up, but a few meetings ago, Bruce had mentioned a review of the lease agreement between the town of Granville and the Granville Volunteer Fire Department. The lease was signed back in 2010, so I thought it would be worthy of us taking a look at it, thinking about it. Couple of things, just to review.
So we should just review it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something, I think it's not very, something to that, because this document doesn't have anything about recording maintenance records.
That's in the general agreement, and it's agreement on the deals that we built the fire. I would ask only for
The lease agreement. Is there a copy of the general agreement that we could review?
it's in the vault.
I'm wondering if it's something that maybe can circulate.
Than the lease agreement itself.
Okay, yeah, I think it's important for us to look at it. I think mainly, wanted to get a better idea of kind of where the divide is between us governing the entity and them self-governing as a nonprofit. And I think a lot of that is sometimes, decisions made on purposes and improvements to the building, care of the building, but also, recently we had and this is later on here, but I don't think, Dan's gonna come in. We had a meeting with Dan about purchasing vehicles and sale of vehicles. And we haven't heard any updates from Dan officially, as a select board, but he has purchased a vehicle. There's a new vehicle that is not usable yet, but it is, in the firehouse. And the other vehicle is still sitting outside and for sale, and he may be closing down a sale, but neither one have we been informed of.
Because the plan was to sell a large four-wheel drive and get something smaller,
That's right, and it was to use those proceeds to purchase the other vehicle.
right? So something smaller got purchased.
Something else got purchased. I think it's smaller. It's not very small.
I thought we were supposed to approve what
We
we're
were,
gonna purchase.
we are,
Supposed to go in front of us then.
it is. And so this is where I feel like there's a lot there, and I kind of wanted the review agreement so we could say, like, where's the line between, like, I want to be able to say, like, the Granville Volunteer Fire Department has autonomy in operating in certain ways, but then there's also areas where they're beholden to the taxpayers and the citizens of Granville, and that's where those things should come to the select board. I have received two I would say they said they didn't want me to share their names, and so two anonymous feedbacks, one about the fire department and one about the building and one about the purchase of the vehicle, as well. Will, who's the head of the planning commission, sent me an email angry because I didn't know anything about the purchase of the new vehicle and the sale of the old vehicle.
Because that, the sale of it was supposed to go through the select board too.
yep, and it was on our
Supposed to
meeting,
go out- It was supposed to go out for pay, and it was supposed to-
which was recorded in our meeting minutes and and online, and so that was posted. He was angry that we didn't know anything about what Dan did. And I said, well, we haven't approved anything for Dan to do. So we weren't aware of it. And I think it's just becoming kind of
Yeah, snowballing.
it's snowballing. And so that's where I wanted to kind of say, do we need to revisit the lease? Do we need to revisit the full agreement with the fire
Well,
department?
you certainly should have an understanding of it. Yeah.
I think a lot of that gets cleared up in this other document. too. So Cheryl could find that and send it out there.
Yeah, and we should review both of them, not just one.
Yeah.
So we get some clarity.
Part of the negotiating team that negotiated the
Yeah,
operational agreement
okay.
in 2009, 2010.
Yeah. That was with-
Selectmen.
Yep. And that was with, Bagley.
Ken had, Kevin had been voted out of the chief, I think.
At that time,
I can't remember.
No, 2010, he was still there. He was Irene was the following year.
Yeah, maybe that one back.
It was when it's something agreement, so it was there.
But I'm mostly concerned with their financials going forward. As an auditor last year, it was very incomplete and scattered. And Henry didn't have the ability to provide the numbers in a timely fashion, so both Daniel and Henry need to be more proactive this year. I would suggest that if they can't be, then we hire, or we, or our department, or maybe it's a shared expense, have an outside auditor go through their books.
okay,
So that in March, when a budget's proposed, we can have confidence that the money the town is sending is being used appropriately. You know, I mean, I don't know where the funds go, I haven't paid much attention, but if they're selling and buying rescue or fire equipment with town money and the select board doesn't know, that's, doesn't seem to make. It needs to be more transparency.
Also consider that sometimes the fundraising and whatnot, or donations or whatever, was through their match.
Yeah.
For towns, so if they're using that money.
Yeah.
For stuff like that, they don't necessarily would need from the town.
they should. Well, they should, because it's an expense. Even the fundraising money is going to the entity, right? And so the town should have insight in.
Well, and that's where it gets gray, where they switched over to an incorporated here.
Yep.
Ready to go, whereas they're. Kind of separated, even though they're under the town's umbrella per se, but.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's. If you.
Yeah, I think the one point that I would make is for 2 years, we requested deposit information for funds raised. And they did not for 2 years provide any information as to where the fundraising dollars went. So any substantiation of what was collected as funds for fundraising, deposit slips, deposit records, the banking information provided did not have clear fundraising dollars. And so that's where I think, you know, if the funds raised at any given time, the townspeople should know the amount of funding available in the town, in the fire department, whether it's independent fundraising or town dollars. And that's not clear. And so too, if a vehicle is purchased with funds from fundraising, but that was pulled from the town bank account, and there's no record that those funds were from fundraising or not from fundraising, it's hard to know. And if it's all murky, and we don't know if they were.
That's one of the other issues, that some of the equipment, vehicles have been purchased separate from the nonprofit or whatever, and whether or not that's, I think if you look at that other agreement, you'll find a lot more about it.
So that's this year. Is the general agreement.
I'd like to see, as an auditor, a clear delineation of the assets of the nonprofit fire department.
Yeah.
And the town's assets.
Yeah.
So you have this many trucks that belong to whether it was purchased. I don't know. See, that's, I don't know.
Anything purchased would be the town's asset, even if it was through fundraising dollars.
But so let me just
Like our
back up just for a second.
Yeah.
And please stop me if I'm rambling or out of order, but we have approximately $20,000 allocated for Granville volunteer party. So that money goes into their bank account. It would be good to know what that money's used for. Is it going to pay a loan on a truck that they purchased? And if that's true, the town should approve the purchase before they purchase it. If they're gonna use town money. That's
Yeah.
kind of where my head's. And I never saw any of that paperwork in the audit, you know, the assets versus volunteer fire department. I don't know. Handles. What should it belong?
Separate organization.
They're two separate organizations.
Comment what Roger says, keeps writing. If you look at the budget, it shows a tanker truck 4. Like who owns it? But the town is paying $103,000. $4,000. Who owns that? If it's going to the fire department, does the town own the truck? Or does the fire department own it? And why would the town pay $4,000 something that they won't own?
Well, I believe any vehicles they own would have a title, there'd be a title
Yeah,
and
Right.
insured, so the title.
Insurance on it, that'd be insuring vehicles that we don't own, we're doing the maintenance on vehicles that we don't own.
yeah.
It's like who owns tanker 4?
How we do it.
What's tanker 4?
Well, that's the point. It's, there needs to be from Daniel and other executive members of that organization, whoever they are. I know Daniel and Henry, but I really haven't looked into who else is part of the executive committee. I mean, you've got a president, fire chief, right, who's Daniel. And you have a treasurer, who's Henry, and the two of them, again, you could double check. But the president, fire chief, shouldn't be, I guess, too manipulative with the treasurer. They're kind of like a separated.
Mhm. Should be independent.
I think there should be some independence there, so. You know, I don't know what the relationship is between the members of their executive committee. Whatever it is, it needs to be presented to the auditors of the town in a clear way. So here are their financials, here's Henry's, he signed off on these. And,
Kind of segregation of duties.
because last year, you can remind me, I think we weren't getting financials from Henry because he was waiting for Daniel.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, for
that
both
was-
years.
Right,
Yeah, the
for
past
both
2
years, and then we get the town report and there's nothing. Or no fire department financials. So this is, to me, unacceptable, it's a taxpayer and it's employer, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble for signing off on something that
Yeah,
is being.
we were very clear last year what we requested and what was needed going forward, and if we don't have that this year, then I think we would need to take it to the town.
And
The thing is, the budget was a piece of paper, I believe, that was passed
that's what
out
I'm saying, it was-
the night of town. The town taxpayers did not have 30 days like
Yeah.
they have the town report. And review the town report before
That's right.
the town meeting. They didn't have the budget for the fire department until that night, I believe. They were just
Yeah.
put on the seats. And so that's a violation right there
Yeah.
because no one had time to digest it and ask questions.
Yeah.
Or anything.
their fiscal year ends in October.
Yes. Yeah.
So that might be one of the,
Well, we've asked them to do it for on the same year as us.
yes,
So, yeah, we didn't want to wait until October.
that
We
makes
said,
so much sense.
yeah, I said, give it just, they don't close their year.
Say again.
They don't close their year. And if they file the e-postcard, it's like very minimal information that they actually file.
Yeah.
So they don't need to, we don't have to go off of their year. We can audit the 12 months that align with ours.
Oh, okay,
So that's what we asked for.
okay,
You good?
okay, thank you.
Sure, and so we do have this general agreement. What I would say is we should, as a group, go through this and take this up at the next meeting,
Yeah,
just to review it, to make sure that if we have any questions or if there's any concerns we have right now, going forward on how we're aligned, this would be a good time for us to open up that conversation. And then if there are points of negotiation or anything we need to change, we can do that in time for the next
Mhm.
town meeting. But I think it's gonna give us enough time to do that. Just because I wanna make sure that we're,
They need to digest them.
so I'll make copies of this before we go. We don't have the lease. And I'll make sure we have this going home. All right, now we have a planned executive session. Which I would say, let's,
There you go.
you wanna go now? I think we probably take about 15 minutes. Are you guys gonna take 15 minutes for executive session?
Yeah.
Are you good? Okay.
Oops, yeah.
Okay, Mark.
We'll go on that.
Yeah.
Mark, I wanted you to stay in touch with us.
Okay.
Right.
I'll send an email for you guys for auditing
We'll
schedule.
go to the other room.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're good. We'll be back. Are you heading out too, Bruce?
No.
All right, we'll see you later.
Okay.
Good night.
Are you heading out? Yeah, we were gonna go to the other room for about 10 minutes, maybe at the most.
Stand outside.
But we're recording. So
Yeah. It's not, no.
Yeah. What's the recording? Yeah.
Seven, zero.
No decision, no nothing.
No. No decisions or anything coming out of the executive session. Possible report.
So nothing too much news. Luckily, I'm on Granville weekend here for the most part. I'm trying to think if I got anything coming up. Most of my training for the year requirements have been done, as I recall. They've got a new reporting system, I understand. I'm still trying to get signed up into it. Used to be your requirements set up the academy, now it's makes more sense to me now, and I always had to do it as myself anyway, it's my own department, but now they have individual officers submit their training. Which is
Okay.
good, now the officer keeps track of the they are changing some requirements down the road, there's been some issues going on in the academy, but hopefully that'll square away with the officers everywhere throughout the state, so. That's some changes that we've got. Anyway, so I'm hoping for a nice winter here, we'll see how it goes, but it won't be long, we'll have lots of spares coming through. So.
Hopefully the roads stay decent, so. We don't have accidents.
Yeah.
No lives. Okay. Is that everything, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, thank you so much. Summary appraisal, tax appeals, any update, Cheryl?
Rick is hopefully gonna be finishing off most of this side of the mountain this week.
Okay.
He'll be sending out cards for those that he hasn't been able to visit. And then next week, he was gonna head over to East Granville.
Okay.
And then he's hoping that he and Steve, starting in November, can start doing the computer work in landscape.
Okay.
But my house, slated for more rooms than I had.
No.
So I had a second floor. So you can see.
Get out of there, reduce my tax. Okay, I don't think we have any county commissioner third permit update, website update, Marilyn.
Well, things are going well with the migration, everything's done.
Yeah.
And, just, last night I had a little blip, I was trying to, I got the planning commission minutes.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, I went to put those on and I was like, I couldn't get into the website. I was like, what happened? Like, I got this message and it was because the night before I couldn't remember the password and I kept trying to guess it.
That locked you out.
And it blocked me. I mean, it blocked my IP address at my house. So I didn't know. I was like freaking out. And I called the hosting service. They were like, no, you've been blocked.
They let you back in? Good, they let you back in. Look, what we got migrating to a dot
I
gov.
see that.
Yeah.
Carol was so kind to
We have
give that to me.
two domains. We can have two domains on our new access. So there's a chance we can link it and create the second so that we have two and it just redirects over but keeps the other one open. So that's something to undertake maybe in a couple months.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to do that.
The training session coming up, I think it's the 15th
Of October.
October.
On .gov. Yeah, on .gov. Would you, if that lines up, I think I got an email on this too. Marilyn, if that's something that lines up with your availability, do you want to do that? And I do think they also archive those, so you can watch them after.
I think I'm gonna have to watch it.
After? Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look and see where that's gonna be archived, so that
I will look into it tomorrow anyway. just
Okay.
to See.
Yeah, and that way we can, it's something that we can put on our future agenda, but it might be something just as easy to like have, Granville, Vermont.gov, and then we can just link it over from. the current-
Yeah, and eventually just
Dot
get rid
org.
of the other one.
Yeah.
Um.
Or even just have a permanent redirect, just in case.
Yeah.
There's no- We have two on our flat available.
We do,
Yeah.
and this one is free because we have to pay for the other domain
That's right. We'll get two free on our thing.
on the hosting service. Yeah.
That's right. So
So
we would be fine to do that as long as we're not ever gonna have any other.
I think
We
what
should have.
happens here is, and I did look into it, I think we have to have something from the select board, a letter or something saying, you know, that we're a legitimate municipality and,
Okay.
you know, a government entity, but I was also thinking it's better, it's probably more secure than a just .org website. And then I was wondering, which is another issue, should have brought it up with Sarah, would cybersecurity be addressed in the planning, the town plan?
We need it. But I personally need cybersecurity in the town plan. Because cyber criminals keep reaching out trying to get my information from Cheryl. So,
You tried to send it to us.
yeah, well, they do. We recently had three, like a couple of contacts, one person continuously contacting with a fraudulent email address, trying to pose as somebody legitimate, looking for my deed information and my mortgage information so that they can create a fake. So if like I have credit freezes, I already did anyway, because I keep getting hacked by different people, like for years I've been a target. But this is like the newest one. I was like, she called me, I was like, no, like I'm not opening, nobody should have any need to look at any of that. I'm not selling. I'm not selling, I'm not doing right now. But you know, it's a common scam right now. People,
Money.
well, no, they get your information and they either do a refinance or they do a block or they do any other kind of thing, or they just take over your deed. So they try to find people with who have paid off their mortgages. So they may stop once they say I actually have a mortgage on my house. But they, you know, they generally try to find people who've paid off their mortgage, and then they will like get all the information, they'll file in your name, they'll get all the details going, and they'll just like basically sell your property out underneath you. And it's happened a lot down in Massachusetts because there's so many small townships, like they operate in townships like we do, but it's like so many people down there and the property values are so high. So it happens a lot with people who have land. People will buy the land, like they'll basically go through and subdivide the land. And nobody knows. It's just people who like have inherited land, they got a piece of land sitting there, they never know anything's going on with it. And all of a sudden somebody breaks ground and starts building on their property and they're like, what are you doing? Like, I just bought this property outright, here I have the deed, and these people are like, I never sold this. But it's already gone through the sale process and everything, and it's really hard to backtrack and tell that person you gotta tear down your house that you just built. So it's pretty deep. And so it's only a matter of time until somebody tried that fraud on me, so let's say we're trying, but yeah. So just from the cybersecurity standpoint, I think as a town, like there's a lot of stuff that people could try to get a hold of. And so I do think that, especially in our next town budget, budgeting money for cybersecurity, budgeting money to pay for legitimate email domains, you know, so if we have a website, which is a .gov, making sure that any town personnel have a .gov email address and kind of changing everything over to that so it's all legitimate. It would help. Yes.
I would read was always talking about cash spending. Why would you wait on something like that for the next budget?
Well, the reason
Much.
it's not that much, but I think that's a good point. I think we got to see how much it's going to cost and make sure we have money for it. But I think that in general, it's one of those things I just want to make sure that we're all on board with when we talk it through. But you know, mainly.
So they look at you as a town official, and then they try to get your name, and then they sell whatever assets.
Yeah.
How would say that
Loans.
the town clerk be able to protect? I mean, she can't possibly know everybody. Some people own
No.
property in this town.
That's
but
great. And
not-
it's open information. Like technically, she's not supposed to say no, but she can look at it and see if it looks like a fraudulent thing or not, and she can have like discern and say, I'm not gonna give this person the information. But technically, yeah, anybody can come in this door and say, I'm doing a deed search for this mortgage company. I need to see all your files on this. And then she will generally pull those out and let people see them. And that's a legitimate process. And I think if somebody's gonna go through the motions of coming here on site and looking for the information, it's pretty risky, but they still could be fraud, you know, and the fact that we have an open access law that allows everybody to access that information and we don't put any lockdown on it, that could be a problem. Because people can get original documents that have signatures and people could forge those signatures.
Just spell your name differently on government files.
Yeah.
There was-
Well,
you know,
I've been a target. I like in 2021, 2022, I had over 150 fraudulent unemployment claims filed in my name. And they went to people's houses. Like I talked to 2 people that weren't me, that my name went with their social security numbers as a fraudulent claim. So my name was just used a lot. Because somebody like got my information and was like mad at me or something like, but that was a Nigerian scam. That was legitimately traced back to a Nigerian scam. So somebody bought my info or did something. I had actually gone through and proved a couple of those at a company I was at. So maybe they got my name because I was fighting those unemployment claims. Because 2 months later, all of a sudden I had all these things. And then after that, other things had started happening. So I've had people use my information to open weird accounts, bad accounts, like weird stuff. And I have to monitor my credit. I have good credit still, but I have to monitor it and have to freeze it all the time and unfreeze it if I want to do anything.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway,
well, then you talking security of the law practice, the crucial, just talking about the outside land.
oh, okay.
We had to find a justice time there. Something we should present, was supposed to be fixed a long time ago, but got an electronic license on it out there that don't work. So it wouldn't matter what the timer was set at, at least at the same time, it would only be one item out.
Okay.
You would shut off at 10 o'clock anyway. Because,
Have a look at, yeah.
before too long, it gets in the winter, maybe get that fixed, on.
Okay, yeah.
And number 2, I think I mentioned this before. Cameras are going to do. Problems are gonna happen, probably gonna happen at night.
Okay.
And like cameras.
They don't pick up. Okay.
Well, at night they're not working, information are not great anymore. They've been there at least 10 years. Wow. It's probably thousands and $1,500 or replacement trouble.
Yeah. There's a lot of new technology too that's less expensive. It's way better. You know, like the ring cameras and stuff like that. Let's see. All right, see you later.
Right.
All right. Anything else on the website? No. You good? Okay. Road commissioner update. Sam Kyle.
We're getting sand.
I heard them all the
Yep.
sister.
Hmm?
Sister.
So you're
Pound.
Huh.
Dropping off, pound.
tailgate on a dump truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all day.
So,
Yeah, today.
Today.
yeah,
They don't-
she wasn't, I mean, and they let you get in 5.
I don't know how many can be, maybe 6. There was somebody delivering pellets around town.
Yeah, David Harvey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was riding down to different people's houses delivering pellets.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought it was your truck, Kenny. It's the same color as yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
so as of Friday, they were at 386 tons.
How much are we getting?
They're getting on 1,400 tons.
Okay. So it's only
So,
a small amount.
yeah, we're not out after today. It's 16 tons at a time, so that's a kind of slow. I mean, it's well, there's an invoice in there for Stephanie Kavanaugh, who has the western side. She's hauling some of the sand. Cody Bowen hauling some of the sand. Charlie's gonna try to haul some, but I don't know if he's hauled any yet, but. And I didn't see a invoice for Cody yet, so I think he was. And these guys are fitting it in around the other things that they need to do. Which is good. The person hauling the sand in the western side, they'll haul the gravel and the towns. For Ray Harvey, that's how she get her number. to do that shit a good job spreading the gravel. So. I saw the grader was down there. I don't know if he's gotten the grader out yet.
Mess's Hill's been done.
It's been done.
Yeah.
Charlie was gonna, we talked about having him roll the hills
That'd be a great idea.
when he grades. So I don't-
They didn't do it.
They didn't,
Yeah.
he was gonna do it right after the graded.
Yeah, they didn't do it. And he graded yesterday.
Yeah, before he gets, they should do it the same day.
Right.
Didn't realize he.
Right.
But. He was supposed to send me some pictures of the project we did up on the. By Parkers too, and get that finished.
Mhm.
I went out and checked it out, he didn't send me any pictures, but, Rita was supposed to come and check it out. And they need to sign off on it.
Mhm. Well, I thought I went up there after he finished it. I thought he could have left the road surface in a better condition.
Well, he graded the gravel out with a
He did.
skid steer, and he's gonna grade it with a big grader
Yeah, okay.
this week. And, I thought,
I could have done a better job with my skid steer. Easily.
yeah.
Finished grading. Yeah.
Oh, no,
If they're gonna grade, that's fine.
because it was so close to the grading time, it was,
Yeah.
but I had hoped that he would have done a better job. It needs a lot of, it needs more gravel through there.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. You
Could
could
have
have
broken
could've
gravel record.
filled in between areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 20 loads of gravel up through there, but
Yeah.
what he's done now is the start to the finish from.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Gotcha.
I had him haul and
Why the little culverts? Why the little 4-inch culverts? The pipe.
underdrain,
The grade?
that's in stone.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, they weren't really supposed to stick out in the ditch, but they do.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, sooner or later that stuff can silt up and that pipe would still run.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that area needed more than anything is the underdrain.
Mm-hmm.
And he did one big culvert, but I had put culverts in that section of road 12 years, 15 years ago. A while ago.
Mm-hmm.
We put culverts in a couple of big ones. So. I don't know. But the work got done before the end of September or something. Now she has to just to grant. To make sure it's all good. We'll look at it, so. Yeah, he's supposed to be a little bit behind on the grading. They're supposed to have that done by the 15th, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that done by the 15th or not. According to the contract. I mean, it is what it is. It's been so dry
Yeah,
and I hated to have them
right,
touch it 2 weeks ago.
right.
There's
No, it's best to wait till we get some rain.
there's still
Still not a lot of rain forecast.
there's probably 15 bags of storage that was saving for in case it got dusty when it graded in the fall.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next week, rain. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, that'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a lot of bikers, people bike cycling in midsummer. And so I think it's a consideration to, maybe get them graded early and then grade them like now. So the roads, if you grade early, it packs in because there's a lot of moisture still in the surface.
Yeah.
You get a good smooth road.
Yeah, I mean, should be May. Should be
Yeah, right.
completely graded in May.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then they get a chance to harden in and they get the
Right.
kind of shiny surface.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this year's challenging this fall because of the dust. It's been nice to have them graded 2 weeks ago, but
No, too dusty.
too dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing with the leaves. That's a concern.
He's actually staying inside of it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not
It's
necessarily a good thing.
well, it's not perfect, but it looks good. He's done. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Anything else from the work session?
no, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Nothing,
Nothing else of note?
no, I'm gonna talk to Rita about another job set up for a grant job. Um. You know, when she comes out. Really, I need to give her a quick call, no doubt.
Where at?
Not entirely sure, but maybe on Town Line Road. We looked at one on Town Line Road, perhaps a couple of culverts. Redo some ditching on that road.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Granville no plowing?
Haven't heard anything out of the,
Do you want me to see if Brett Stickney wants to do it again this year, or you want to advertise it?
yeah, I'd say give it to Brad if he wants it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his. I hadn't even really thought about it. I don't know what the depth of his contract was, if it was for 1 year only, or if it was
Yeah, it was year to year.
year to year.
Yeah.
I suggest we give it to them. Yeah.
All right.
This is
All the money.
things are happening.
Yes.
These- You just stick in carrot.
Yep. Good, that's good. Okay, any other public comment or communication? For tonight. All right. Until the next time. I think we officially adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
A bit of a.
All right. All in favor?
Right.
Adios.
Thank you.